Hi, welcome to the Oscar Butler Show. Now that it's a show, I'm going to be talking and dealing with a lot of, with some other cool stuff. This isn't me live, but it's pre-recorded. But anyway, I wanted to talk a bit about guitar maintenance. Guitar maintenance, and why I wanted to do that was because I was sitting here earlier in the week. I had thrown up a few videos on Facebook of me changing the tuning machines, the tuning pegs on my guitar, because I was up in Red River last week playing at the 4K River Ranch. Cool place, cool people, man. But I was up there playing, and luckily it didn't happen until maybe within the last 20 minutes of my 2-hour set. But one of my tuning pegs went bad on me. And I have several alternate tunings that I do, which one's way down. And when I was trying to tune back up to finish out my set, the peg just would not work, and it was on my low E. And if you know me and my playing, is that low E is really important, because I've always got some kind of bass thing going with my thumb at some point. So it wasn't like I could fake it from there. If I don't have that bass, that thumb working, it just throws everything else I do off. So anyway, I ended up stopping it, and of course on my way driving home, I was thinking, well, gosh, who can I get to fix this? And I kind of looked at it and I thought, well, heck, it's just a tuning machine, tuning peg. I can do it myself, which is what I decided to do. So I went on to Amazon to find the tuning machines, and it's neat because I didn't realize, and I'll talk a bit about this too, about the building and construction and stuff with my guitar, which I've learned a bunch over the last really few hours. But although I'd looked at it a few years back. But the tuning machines on this Taylor, and it's an older Taylor, which I'll tell you, I'll get to when it was made and how it was, or not so much how, but when it was made back a little bit more farther into the night. But what I noticed when I went to decide, well, I'll change them myself, I looked at them and realized, oh, they're Grover. They're Grover tuning machines, which, Grover you find on a lot of great guitars. I think Strats run them. I think Les Pauls have them on there. So, whereas nowadays on the newer Taylors, they have their own Taylor tuning machines on there. And so I decided, well, it's kind of like an old car. I'm going to put more Grovers on there. I decided, well, I'll just get another set of the Grovers, which is cool because, number one, if I get the same exact set, the screw lines up and there's no leftover. Like sometimes when you change pegs out, the ones that you take off might have had two screws in it, which means there's two holes. So if I get another one that only has one hole, then there's going to be this hole in the back of the head of my guitar. So I decided, well, I'll just get the ones, the same ones, or at least similar, very, very similar to what is in there, and just replace it with the stock if you're a car mechanic, putting stock stuff back on it. But anyway, it was cool because I did it. It was pretty simple deal. These were just slightly bigger. But that's okay because they fit fine. They fit just fine. And they're beautiful. They're all beautiful. But something else that I had spoken about in one of those videos, I uploaded 2 videos to my Facebook page. And one, I was talking about that on if you own a Taylor, if you've seen Taylors, that all Taylors nowadays, right inside the sound hole, have a label that tells you what kind of Taylor it is, the serial number, and I think it's got the signature or something, whoever worked on it or built it in there. It's there, but on this Taylor, on these Taylors, and when these came out, there wasn't a whole lot of electronics that I knew of, at least the ones that I looked at. I don't think any of the ones that I had electronics on it. And this one didn't have electronics, so when I eventually had electronics put into it, I had a thin line pickup put under the saddle there, and or the bridge, and the guy who installed it, it had 9-volt battery pack, a 9-volt battery holder. He put right up against the neck, the butt of the neck stock, which is right inside the guitar, inside the guitar there. Whereas nowadays, like this one that I have, which isn't the original one that I put in, but it's got Velcro. They put it in Velcro and then just stick a Velcro strip in there and piece of cake. But this one he actually screwed into the butt of the neck stock at the inside the guitar. Which the thing is that that's where the label was. The label was there. So I mean that began the destruction of the label, or at least when it was in there, I couldn't see the label, the serial number, or anything. But what eventually happened was on a trip, and this was some years back, these guitars came in these really solid wooden cases, thank God, because at one point I was out in Boston playing, and someone was giving me a ride, and it actually fell out of the back of the truck, which began a situation that eventually caught up to me, which, it fell out of the truck. I didn't think much about it because the guitar took the brunt of it, or not the guitar, but the case took the brunt of the fall. But what happened was that maybe 2-3 months down the line, and it just happened to be on probably the worst day of my life, when everything was going wrong that day, and I decided, well, I'm gonna just go kind of relax, grab my guitar and play, and see if that'll just soothe the crazy beast that was in me at that point. And so I went to my guitar case, opened it up, grabbed it by the neck, and it broke right here. The neck just went like that. And all I could do was laugh, because I couldn't think of anything worse that could happen. What more can happen to me? But that neck just went right there from the body. At the time, Grandma's Music, if you're old enough to remember Grandma's Music, when it was up on Wantabo here in Albuquerque, when it was up on Wantabo Boulevard, I took it there, and they had a luthier who did an amazing job. I don't remember his name, but he did an amazing job repairing it, putting it back together, and I've never had an issue with it. You can't even see that it was ever broken. There's lots of wear from me playing, but it's just not a thing. But anyway, in the process of doing that, there's 2 bolts that hold this part of the neck in, right in here, and of course, they sit under the label that was on the end of the neck stock there. So that pretty much totally destroyed the label. I've got pictures of it here, which I'll show you. But as you can see here, it pretty much wiped out. You get the Robert Taylor, his signature, and then just above that, the serial number was written. And so I thought, well, shoot, if I ever were to do something with this guitar, like sell it or something, which I don't really plan to sell it, but if I were to do that, how would I get people to understand that, well, this is an original Taylor, it's real. And so what I found out, and I think it was from Googling and trying to figure it out, is that at the base of that stock, under that label, they brand the serial number on the wood, into the wood, which, as you can see here, I was able to go in with my camera, with my phone camera, and actually pull out that serial number so I could see what, I could get the specs and everything on this guitar, what it was, what it is, and it's really cool because it gives lots of information, which, as I looked up online, about the Taylor serial numbers, and there's, I have to pull it up here. As there's, the serial numbers now, I think in the newer ones are 10 digit, back during the production of mine. It was like between 1993 and 99, it was a 9-digit, and then before that, oh no, I guess there was an 11-digit serial number between 2000 and 2009. So mine was back between 93 and 99, and it was only a 9-digit number. And it's really cool because the information that you get from that number is exciting, because it tells you, number one, and as you see, and I'll put out there's a number. The first two numbers represent what year it was made. So mine was made in 96, and then the next two numbers is the month in which it was made. Which this is the birth. My guitar had a birthday this month, and then the next two are the day. So it was the 7th of June in 1996. And then the next number gives the series is and let's see, what does it say? It says 0300 and 400 series, 1 for 5. Oh, okay. If it's 0, then it's 300 to 400 series. If it's 1, which mine is 1, for 500 through presentation series. So the 500 series through the presentation series. And then if it's 2, it's for 200 series, 3, baby and big baby, and 4, big baby, S for TS, and it goes on. But anyway, so mine's 1, so it's for the 500 through presentation series, which I looked that up, and basically my guitar is a 712, which I guess I don't know if they make them anymore, because I looked online to see if what the 712 looks like now, and it doesn't look like they make them. Although I could be wrong, I might not be looking in the right place. But anyway, and then the last two numbers is how do they put it? The last two numbers is the guitar's position in that day's production sequence. So I thought that was cool. So mine's a 20. Mine was number 20 in that day's production sequence. But what's interesting is that as I looked at the 10-digit, let's see, the 10-digit, and let me see if the other one, the 11-digit, yeah, in the 10 and 11-digit serial numbers, the last three numbers, is it the last three? Let's see. Okay, so the 2000 to 2009, the 11-digit one, it's still the last two numbers, but then from 2009 on, which are the newer ones, it has a 3-digit last number, which means that it's, I mean, in mine it's only 2 digits, which, okay, 99 is the most that were probably made during that day, but now it's up in the hundreds. It's up in the hundreds. So, it's kind of, in my sense, a bit of mass production. But it's cool because, I tried to find out, well, is it possible to find out how many guitars were actually made in the day that mine was made, and then where does mine fall in place in that place? But anyway, that was cool, trying to figure that out and learn that stuff. But I now know the specs, and that's my birth certificate for my guitar. The birth certificate for my guitar. But anyway, it's been on the 7th. It was its birthday, and now it's got all new tuning pegs, all new tuning machines on there, and they look beautiful. And they're perfect. It was an easy fix. Somebody on Facebook messaged me or made a comment if I fix guitars, and it's like, no, I do not fix guitars. I'm telling you, guitars are incredible machines made. I mean, people who make them, especially from by hand and from scratch, just amaze me. But no, I mean, when I had my pickups put in, I just don't want to mess with stuff like that, because I figure I could probably mess it up pretty good. I'm pretty good at messing things up. But anyway, that's just some of the stuff that I did on the guitar, and now that I've got everything off of it, I've been cleaning it real nice, getting it all polished up. Got to get some more polish, so I ran out of it. I was using this stuff I've had forever. What is it? It's no, Planet Waves mirror finish spray. But I've had that forever. But I got to get some other stuff because my guitar has been through a lot, and it's got like built up dirt on it. Okay, so talking maintenance and things that I use for maintenance, which, oh yeah, my winder, which I don't even know what the brand name. So these are also Planet Waves. Maybe I got these all together with that stuff, but my winder, I guess some people have electric winders, and then this is just to set it up, so I could set it up on the neck. So that's how I change strings, and I change strings fairly often. I have this thing that if the strings start getting dull, it annoys the crap out of me. It just, if they don't have that brightness and the punch, as soon as they start hitting that point, which most people probably don't even notice it. People that I'm playing in front of probably have no idea that they're getting dull. They sound just, but to me, man, my ear, if I catch that and it starts sounding dull when I'm hitting strings, it drives me nuts. So I change my strings fairly often, and I'd say probably every 3 to 4 gigs I change my string, and that's, but playing 2 to 3 hours gigs. But I change my strings probably every 3 to 4 gigs, and it's cool. I mean, if you know me, know my style, I'm a finger picker. And this guitar, this is cool because one thing that I had learned later on after I'd gotten it is that in Taylor, this is called a grand concert size. It's smaller. It's smaller, much smaller than a dreadnought. And what I found out after I had bought it was, it's actually specifically made, which Taylor still does grand concert sizes, grand concert, and then they have grand auditorium. But specifically this, when it's in its description, talks about it's great for finger picking, which it's interesting because when I was out looking for new guitars, I played Gibsons, I played Martins, and several other ones. But I kept coming back to this particular guitar because when I sat down to play it, it was just something about the way it handled, the sound of the finger picking that just I fell in love with, and I couldn't walk away from it. And so that's why I got it. And it's cool. It's beautiful. It's what else? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of going on because I've been doing a lot of stuff this morning. Something else. Okay, so maintenance. Cleaning it. I just have been cleaning it, wiping it down using these cloths and some of this stuff if there's any left, and just really working on it because especially right here, especially if I'm not wearing sleeves and stuff, I get a buildup right here of dirt and stuff, but just getting it really pretty and clean and sweet. That's my baby. So I wipe it down. The other thing, humidifiers. Now I used to travel back and forth between Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is high desert, and then Boston. And the humidity, I could pretty much see, I'd be out in Boston and the guitar would get nice and fat. I could see it kind of bulging a little bit. But then I get back here and then it would start sucking in again as it dried out. And so humidity is an important thing, especially out here in the desert and pretty much anywhere you go. You want to try to control the humidity of the guitar. And so what I do is I have to look at it, see what it's Guitito, I think it's called. It's Guitto. I'll put the brand in the description, but Guitito, and what it is, it's a humidifier hygrometer. So it basically it's got this little area in here. It tells what the humidity is, and it's got this little area that says normal. It says normal. It's got this area between 40 and I think it's just over 70, somewhere in there. But it's got normal and I guess that's for the guitar. I don't know if you can see that, but it's in there. But then in here is a humidifier. So what I do is I just put some water in a glass and then sit it in there and let it soak up just high enough to get above the openings for the water. I'll just sit it in there and let it sit for a little bit and then take it out, shake it out, and then it fits into the guitar. I'll tend to slide it up so that the the bottom guitar string will keep it pressed in there. But it can also be kept in the case also. But it tells you basically what the humidity is in the guitar, and also it will tell you in the case, as well as keeping this wet so that it humidifies the guitar. Because the guitar, it's a beautiful instrument made with beautiful wood, and you just need you got to take care of them, especially. I mean, this guitar I think I found it. Gosh, I'm wearing out the pick guard on that. Man, it's wearing down. This guitar is wonderful, but I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah. But yeah, you want to take care of the wood. You got to take care of the wood, take care of the guitar. This guitar online, I think I found used, is still up around $3,000. I actually got it on a good, very, very good deal. But I was looking online and found a used one for just under $3,000. But it's a beautiful guitar, and man, it's gotten me a lot of places. It's what I do most of my concerts in, most of my performing in. Although now I also have a Mini. I got a Mini last year, a nice Mini. Mostly because I was traveling and I don't like to take this one. I almost lost one time coming back from Boston on the train. I was so excited to get home that I forgot to get the guitar off the train, and it ended up in L.A. So I was able to call and they sent it back the next day. But man, and then there was another time when I flew with it and underneath. Don't ever want to do that. And that's one thing. That's one of the things reasons I got the Mini was because I was traveling a bit and I was flying. Now I try to drive as much as I can because now I have lots of equipment. I usually take my PA system. I mean, between all over New Mexico. I want to try to get down into Texas, and then up in Colorado. I'm getting up into Colorado. Is that I take my PA system, which is not a huge PA system, but I'd rather not check it anywhere onto a plane because I can't afford for it to ever get lost. Same thing with my guitars, but the Mini is cool because the Mini in its case will fit in the overhead. And I think this might also too. But if I ever travel with this on a plane, there's no way I'm not gonna take it onto the plane with me. But it's the Mini's not that much smaller than this, so I think this, because it's a grand concert, and I just actually picked up a new case for it. The old case, the original case was wood, like wood. I mean serious wood, and it was like heavy, to have to carry that around. It got a little cumbersome. But I got one of the new soft backpack ones that it's a soft hard shell. I guess that's what it's called. I'm not sure, but it's soft. but it's got a backpack rigging so that I can put it on my back and go with it. But that case, number one, is lighter. Number two, it's probably just as sturdy and protective as the original wooden one. But I think that also will go into the overhead in airplanes. I don't know how people put their instruments underneath airplanes anymore. But that's let's see, what else. I think I pretty much covered everything. I'd play something for you, but I don't got no strings on here. I'm about to put the strings on. Well, I'm going to finish cleaning it up and then put the strings back on it and get it ready, because I got a big freaking week coming up. I've already started it, I guess, if you're watching this on Monday. Because let's see, Monday's through the 3rd. No, actually, no. I played the 1st, the 2nd. Today should be the 3rd that you're watching this. And then I've got a day off tomorrow, but then the rest of that week I'm freaking pumping it out. I'm living the dream. So thanks a lot for checking in, for hanging out with me and hearing me spiel about guitar maintenance and taking care of my guitar, and hope that you're taking care of yours. So anyway, make that guitar your friend. Have a great night. I'll see you next week.